Power changes the moment silence ends. Toxic people don't respect kindness. They test it, they push it, they look for weakness, not because you are weak, but because they are searching for limits. And the reason they disrespect you is not what you think. It is not your personality. It is not your soft voice. It is not your good heart. It is one behavior you allow, one small pattern that repeats, one quiet reaction that teaches them they can go further. Fix this once and everything changes. Most people believe toxic behavior is random. It is not. It follows a pattern. Research in social psychology shows that people test boundaries in small ways before they cross them in big ways. A joke that goes too far, a comment that feels slightly insulting, a dismissive tone. These moments look small, almost harmless. But they are not accidents. They are probes. And when those probes meet silence, laughter, or nervous avoidance, the brain of the other person registers something very clearly. Access granted. That is how disrespect grows. Not in one dramatic explosion, but in tiny tolerated moments. Many strong people fall into this trap. They stay calm. They avoid conflict. They tell themselves it is not worth it. They try to rise above it. But rising above without setting a boundary does not create respect. It creates permission. And permission, repeated over time, becomes a pattern. There are lesser-known studies on dominance behavior that show something powerful. When a person calmly interrupts disrespect the very first time it appears, future attempts drop sharply. The behavior loses reward. Toxic individuals are not always bold. They are strategic. They look for low resistance. They continue where they face no pushback. And they retreat where standards are clear. This is not about aggression. It is not about shouting. It is not about proving a point. It is about one controlled action done once, at the right moment. In this video, you will learn exactly what that action is. You will understand why silence strengthens toxic behavior. You will see how calm firmness changes social dynamics instantly. You will learn the psychology behind why some people are never targeted twice. And you will discover why being nice without boundaries quietly damages your confidence over time. Most importantly, you will understand how to shift from being tolerated to being respected without changing your personality. There is a reason certain individuals rarely face open disrespect. It is not their size, not their status, not even their tone. It is their response time. They do not delay boundaries. They do not over-explain. They do not seek approval before protecting their dignity. They respond once, clearly, then they move on. That single act rewires how others approach them. And here is the part most people miss. The first time you do this, it will feel uncomfortable. Your voice may tighten. Your heart may beat faster. That reaction is normal. It is your body stepping into unfamiliar territory. Growth often feels like risk at the beginning, but on the other side of that discomfort is freedom. Freedom from replaying conversations at night. Freedom from silent resentment. Freedom from feeling small in rooms where you deserve space. By the end of this video, you will not just understand what to do. You will understand why it works. You will see how toxic patterns form, how they escalate, and how to shut them down early without drama. This is not about turning cold. It is not about becoming confrontational. It is about becoming clear. Because clarity is power, and power expressed calmly is respected. Stay until the end, because the final principle ties everything together. One shift in behavior, one moment of calm correction, one standard expressed out loud. That is all it takes to change the dynamic permanently. If you are ready to stop being tested, if you are ready to protect your peace without losing your kindness, then you are in the right place. Welcome to our channel, where we do not teach noise, we teach control. Where we do not promote aggression, we promote strength. Subscribe now and join a community that chooses respect over approval and standards over silence. Let's begin. There is a truth most people never hear, and once you understand it, you stop taking disrespect personally. Toxic people are not bold in the beginning, they are observant. They scan for easy targets. Not weak people, not bad people, easy targets. That means someone who will not push back, someone who will absorb tension instead of returning it, someone who values peace more than position, so they begin small. A joke that feels slightly sharp, a comment that lowers your value just a little, a dismissive look, a subtle interruption when you speak. Nothing dramatic, nothing loud, just enough to test the ground. Disrespect never starts big. It starts small. It grows in tiny moments that feel too minor to address. And this is where most people misunderstand what is happening. They think it is random personality conflict. They think the other person is just having a bad day. They think ignoring it shows maturity. But human behavior follows patterns. People repeat what works. If a small disrespect works once, meaning it creates no resistance, no correction, no consequence, it gets stored in the brain as effective behavior. And effective behavior becomes repeated behavior. Repeated behavior becomes habit. That is how a small joke turns into regular sarcasm. That is how a tiny dismissal turns into open disrespect. It was never sudden. It was trained. Not intentionally by you, but trained through silence. This is not about blaming you. It is about freeing you. Because once you see the pattern, you stop feeling confused. Toxic individuals are not always loud or aggressive. Many are calm. Many are socially smooth. But they are constantly measuring reactions. They measure your tone, your body language, your response speed. If they sense hesitation, they push a little further. If they sense fear of conflict, they lean into it. This is not personal hatred. It is behavioral testing. And testing stops the moment it meets a boundary. The problem is most people fail to stop it early. Not because they are weak, but because they are wired for approval. They do not want conflict. They want to be liked. They want harmony. So they stay quiet. They laugh it off. They pretend it did not matter. They tell themselves they are above it. They ignore it. They choose short-term comfort over long-term respect. And in that moment, something subtle happens. Silence is seen as permission, not strength. The other person reads your non-reaction as tolerance, and tolerance becomes access. What you tolerate teaches people how to treat you, not your words, not your intentions, your tolerance. If you tolerate sarcasm, sarcasm increases. If you tolerate dismissal, dismissal increases. If you tolerate disrespect, disrespect becomes normal. This is not because you deserve it. It is because humans adjust behavior based on resistance. The absence of resistance sends a message. It says this line is safe to cross. And when a line is safe to cross once, it becomes easier to cross again. That is why the one thing you must do is simple but powerful. Respond immediately, calmly, clearly, not aggressive, not emotional, not loud, just firm. The power is not in volume. It is in clarity. You address it the moment it happens, not hours later, not days later, not in a long emotional speech. In the moment, short, direct, controlled. You say, "Do not talk to me like that," or "I do not like that," or "That is not okay." And then you stop talking. No explanation, no debate, no over-defending yourself, just a clear boundary. Then you move on. This formula works because it interrupts the test. It sends a signal that the line exists. Address it. Stay calm. Set boundary. Move on. The moving on part is critical. You do not argue. You do not seek agreement. You do not demand apology. You simply state the standard and continue. Power comes from calm delivery. Toxic people feed on reaction. Anger is entertainment. It gives them energy. It turns the moment into drama. Silence is permission. It tells them they can continue. But calm firmness is resistance. It is boring. It is controlled. It gives them nothing to play with. They respect difficulty, not kindness, not aggression. Difficulty. When access to you becomes difficult, respect increases. Difficulty does not mean being rude. It means your standards are not negotiable. It means crossing your boundary creates immediate friction. Humans naturally test limits. This is instinct. In social groups, in workplaces, in families, limits are always being sensed. When a limit appears clearly, behavior adjusts. Not always because of morality, but because of cost. The cost of crossing you becomes higher than the reward. So behavior changes. The first time you do this, it will feel uncomfortable. Your voice may shake. Your heart may race. Your mind may tell you to stay quiet. That is normal. You are breaking a pattern, and breaking patterns triggers fear, especially if you are used to keeping peace. But understand this, confidence does not appear first. Action appears first. After the first time, everything shifts, not because the world changes overnight, but because you change. The other person sees something new. They realize you are not easy anymore. You are still calm, still respectful, but not available for disrespect. You do not need to win arguments. You need to set standards. Winning arguments feeds ego. Setting standards protects dignity. Before this shift, your mind replays conversations at night. You overthink. You wish you had said something. You feel small in moments where you should feel equal. You carry quiet frustration. After this shift, peace replaces overthinking. Confidence replaces resentment. Clarity replaces confusion. You no longer wonder why they act that way. You understand the pattern, and you interrupt it early. The moment you respect yourself out loud, others follow. Not always perfectly, not always instantly, but consistently, because humans mirror signals. If you signal that you accept low treatment, you receive low treatment. If you signal that you require respect, you receive more of it. The dynamic changes from you trying to prove yourself to you, simply maintaining a standard. Stop ignoring disrespect. Stop laughing at insults. Stop hoping they change on their own. Start speaking once. Calm, clear, firm. Not every time with anger. Not every time with explanation. Just once. At the moment it happens. Disrespect survives on silence and dies in the presence of boundaries. If this shifted your mindset even a little, don't let it end here. Growth is not built in one video. It is built in repetition. It is built in reminders. It is built in standards you practice daily. So if this helped you see things differently, subscribe to the channel right now. We don't teach aggression here. We don't teach drama. We teach power. Quiet power. Controlled power. The kind of power that changes how people treat you without you ever raising your voice, like this video. So more people can learn how to protect their peace. Share it with someone who keeps tolerating disrespect because they think staying silent makes them strong. And if you are serious about becoming someone who is respected without chasing approval, stay with us. More lessons are coming. I'll see you in the next one.